Welcome back, everyone. In this video, we are not going to start working on our batch definition yet. I thought we should take a little bit and get a few more things cleaned up, even though this may seem like we're going backwards a little bit, because the thing to keep in mind here is that the goal of this video series is to show you all of the features and functionality that is available to you when you're building product templates. So our goal is not to build this perfect product that you would see in a production environment that you would be batching. The goal is to learn about how to build product templates and what options are available to you during that process. So I wanted to come in here and do a few things. First off, let's save our progress right where we're at. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up Configuration Browser. And remember, in Configuration Browser, you can right-click on a product. So in this case, our T-Train book. And when you right-click on that, one of your options that you have is Archive Product Configuration. So when we click on that, that is going to export this zip file out to our shared config location on this server. Now, that zip file can be dropped into a folder called config import within our IDF share, and that will basically put our product templates, our batch and pre-batch and layouts and impositions that we've built back into the system and have them ready to go as the system state is right now. Now, if we open up this zip file, we can see that folder structure that I just mentioned. So in here is our batch def, and then in here is our imposition that we built, and we've also called on no imposition, so that one's in there now too. So that's just an archive that we can save off that's going to have a set of our configuration templates at a particular point in time. So now that we have that saved off, let's go ahead and open up our pre-batch definition. So the first thing that I want to do, even though we previously set this pre-batch imposition to use the one that simply is just the basic no imposition, I'm going to remove this attribute altogether. So we'll go ahead and take that one out. And then let's also remove max copies, because I want this order to use its original copy count of 10, which is defined in the order XML. Now, when we remove this, that's probably going to require us to have to drop that XML back in, but that's super easy, so we can take care of that here in just a little bit. We're going to leave duplex. We'll leave our auto size width and height. But for the layout, I'm going to get rid of all that stuff we put in the layout, and I'm going to do that by simply changing to a default layout that exists called no stamp layout. And then we'll leave our split range of 1 to n to use the whole thing, and then the name of text. And we'll leave all this stuff in just for a reference in case we need it or want to refer back to it, but we're still going to leave it commented out. So we'll go ahead and save this, and now we'll come back to the UI and let's reprocess this at pre-batch and make sure that all of those changes took the way we expect. So what we should see in our pre-batch output is basically just the content. We shouldn't see any of those press marks, any of the corner cut marks. All of that stuff we put in should now be gone since we're using the no stamp layout, not the layout we built for this product. So we'll come back to view, we'll go to pre-batch, and there we have just the content. We don't have that white border where we extended the media box, we don't have any of the marks, and we have only 10 pages up here, and I know based on the order that that's only one copy of this little book that we have. So what we're going to do, even though my quantity up here says 10, we only got a quantity of 1, and that's because we had that attribute in there of max copies 1. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go to my IDF share, because that's where we save that order to, and I'm going to copy this order and paste it right into our input folder. Now, once this processes through, we'll still see the quantity of 10 over here. That's not going to change. But what should change once this finishes processing, there we go, we're back up to the sort light. Now, if we go view pre-batch, Well, look at that. We still have 10 pages in our output. So let's take a look at a couple things here and see if we can figure out why we have that. So let me close this pre-batch. Now, over here I can see that our order came in and it says quantity of 10. We know that we took the max copies of 1 out, so it's not restricting it to 1 copy. If we keep going over here, do I have pages turned on? I don't. Let me turn pages on real quick so we can take a look at that. Oh, it is turned on. I'm completely, there we go, right next to it. So we have a quantity of 10 and we have pages of 10 for each quantity. So that should be 100 pages or 100 pictures of the fish. So why are we not getting that? Well, the reason why we're not getting that is by default, the system is not going to expand the quantity of things at pre-batch. That is a default in the system, and we do have an attribute to reverse that. There is an attribute you can apply to pre-batch that says expand quantity at pre-batch. And if we were to add that, we could then come back here, reprocess this order, or possibly inject it. I think that may require the order to be re-injected again. And at that point, it would expand this out so that when we viewed pre-batch, you would see 100 pages. But that's not very efficient, and we don't really want to expand all of this content out only to send all of that to the batching process. So we keep it suppressed down to the single quantity that we're dealing with for the output that's generated at pre-batch, and then that's what will be submitted into the batch. Now, when we get to the point of batching this, that's where we will see it come up, and we'll get into that here in just a little bit. So that's all I wanted to cover in this video. It was just a bit of prep work and just a restatement that, keep in mind that as we go through this, the whole goal here is looking at the different features. So we're going to go ahead and end this video here, and in the next one, we're going to start building out our batch and checking out the various attributes that we've looked at for batching up to this point.